Hi everyone, how's it going? Yeah, I'm still doing the daily readings, but I haven't done them yet. I'm relaxing a little bit on the tarot readings. And I found out that I've been able to do them just as efficiently when I'm not killing myself trying to get them done on time. So yeah, there's that. I've also had a lot going on with other projects that I've been working on. I'm gonna keep Sturm for now, until I see final results of what's going on, so that I could definitely tell you what I've been doing. But right now, everything is in development stages, so I don't want to say too much. As far as the targeting goes, I get a lot of electronic harassment as usual. I've been getting it in my jaw in particular here. You can see the entry points or the exit points of where they've hit. Do you know what I mean? So I've been getting a lot on my jaw, a lot of attacks on my jaw, a lot of attacks on my chest, a lot of attacks on different parts of the skin. Different parts of the skins have been itching. So yeah, I've been getting my fair share of electronic attacks. The psychological attacks haven't been as prevalent though. Um, I don't know. This curse thing has like had a sort of weird effect on everything that's happened. So it's like, I don't know. It just feels like the curse thing is kind of backfired in a way. Like all this stuff has kind of backfired, and and as a result, I'm getting on with life. And there's this whole confusion about what next to do with me. There always is some level of confusion as to what to do with me. This isn't my first rodeo, remember. In every address, it gets to a point where, you know, I get upset. Like I said before, I get upset. I get really upset. And then, and then I get really depressed, and then after all that, it kind of becomes clear that because this is gang stalking, this is never going to stop. So I might as well just accept what's going on and just get on with my life. And there are things that I know that have happened in my home, and I kind of have to ignore them because A, for the sake of money purposes, and B, for the sake of my own mental health, I can't really attach myself too much to things that people can only say that's happened or people can only speculate that's happened. I can't attach myself emotionally to anything that can't really be proven. And I know this sounds really vague to say, and I'm not really making myself clear, but I can't really attach myself to things that are not evidential. I can't put myself in that position because it affects my ability to kind of get on with my life and do whatever it is I need to do. And what I realize is that in order to help targeted individuals, I've got to do it in my own way. And my own way means prioritizing whatever it is that helps my mental health stabilize. So, um, I'm dealing with things as best as I can. A lot of good things have happened in the past couple of months or so. Like a lot of good things have happened for me in the past couple of months. So, I don't want to say what they are right now. I just want to keep it on the down low because, but the main thing is that I haven't forgotten targeted individuals. And I know that me remembering or forgetting targeted individuals is not really a big deal to anybody because my numbers ain't big like that. They've never been big like that. And the people who are the most interested in my videos are usually perps anyway. So I know me saying that I haven't forgotten TIs and I haven't forgotten you, and I know that doesn't really mean a whole lot to people, but trust me, I haven't forgotten the TI community. I really haven't. I've been watching some videos, which brings me to something about the TI experience that I want to get into. What I'm noticing, right, is that there seems to be, I'm not going to name names, but there seems to be a lot of talking down to targeted individuals, and especially targeted individuals that are already financially struggling and already are emotionally struggling with the torture that they're being subjected to every single day of their lives. Now, as a TI myself, and as a marginalized person myself, I realized that the way this world works is that the less you have, the more you have to give in order to get something back. It is absolutely disgusting. It's really disgusting that the more you're tortured and the more you've been, the more you've been abused and downtrodden and stuff like that, is the more love you have to give back to the world. It's like you can't give them what they give you. You have to give them better than what they gave you in order for you to get ahead in the world and in order for you to get the help that you're supposed to get as a targeted individual or as a marginalized person. And it's disgusting and it's not fair, and it's just a fucking injustice, but that's just the way the world is. At the same time, what I don't appreciate is TIs being spoken down to just because they're not conquering the planet, being tortured to death. Suddenly they're supposed to come up with 5 bans for a lawsuit. Suddenly they're supposed to just focus and use like law of attraction. Again, I'm not trying to attack anybody, and I know this sounds really shady to say, but it's like, knowing what I know about the law of attraction and knowing what I know about how economics works, not every TI is interested in the law of attraction and money. Do you understand? Not every TI is interested in those things. And quite frankly, people should not have to be interested in these things in order to get ahead in life or in order to get the justice that they're supposed to get. Again, I get that the way the world works, you have to give more. You have to give even more. If you're the type of person who is being given less, you have to give more in order to get more. And again, I understand how unfair that is. But that's exactly why I don't like the fact that TIs are being spoken down to. I don't like the fact that TIs are being told, you don't want this enough. They never asked for this. Like, TIs never asked for this. We never asked to be electronically tortured. We never asked to have a neighborhood campaign smearing our names, even saying really, really serious things. We never asked for that. And sure, if you look back at my videos and you look at where I am now, progress has been made. I can't lie, right? I've pulled myself up and I said to myself, look, I know what these people are doing to me. And I know there are times where I'm going to have, really, really bad depressive stages or really bad anxiety or outbursts of emotion. I know I'm going to have that, but it's knowing how to work within that is going to actually help me move through the world, right? So I've done well, but the more that I do is the more aware I become of how important it is to still remain empathetic to TIs who are struggling and TIs who are just not coping. Not everybody, nobody is supposed to be able to cope with torture. I'm sorry. That's why it's called torture. Nobody's supposed to be able to cope with torture. Nobody's supposed to have to fight their way through it, because they're not supposed to be tortured in the fucking first place. So for me, if we really want TIs to kind of mobilize and become organized, we got to knock this shit off of telling TIs that they're moaning too much, telling TIs that they're too negative and this, that, and the third. It's one thing to have emotional boundaries and to look after your own mental health. And it's another thing to look down on everybody just because they're not at a place where you are at yet. We're not talking about the rest of the world here. We're talking about a group of people that not only are tortured, but are reminded of that torture every single fucking day. Triggered, re-triggered with past abuse, with present abuse every single fucking day. This is the class of people that we're dealing with. So what I'm not about to do is I'm not about to sit here and insult other TIs who are going through, to be honest, there are a lot of TIs who go through worse than what I go through, do better than me. But then there are others that are going through worse than what I'm going through who are not doing as well as me. And I can't even say I'm doing that well. Do you understand what I'm saying? I just don't appreciate TIs being spoken down to and being treated like they're not doing enough. You know, again, I get how this world works. The less you have to give is the more you have, the less you have is the more you have to give in order to get something back. I know that the world is like that. But if you are a TI and you're struggling with that concept, I can only empathize. It's not fair. If you're thinking about how unfair it is that you have to do that you have to go the extra mile in order to earn money, or in order to focus your mind, or in order to help your mental health, like you have to go the extra mile. If you have to go the extra mile in comparison to other people who are not in your situation and you resent that, I sympathize with you. I really, really do. And again, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong to feel that way. The truth of the matter is that getting yourself to a certain level, it involves you accepting your feelings and accepting how you feel about the torture that's happened to you, and the torture that keeps happening to you. It's accepting how you feel about it. And it's, this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part. You can't judge yourself for how you feel. And the world that we live in now, there's a temptation to do that. There's a temptation to judge yourself how you feel, to try and rush ahead with your progress, to try and rush ahead with everything. Let me tell you something about the way this world works, right? First of all, this world is operating on an imposter syndrome basis, right? Second of all, they don't do anything, they don't do anything if they know that it's going to be of real risk to them. And third of all, they prioritize their own bubble first. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, which, when I talk about giving back to the world as a TI, you have to do more of that than the average person. You have to think about the type of person you want to be, become that person. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you have to make sure that if you're going to speak out about targeting or do anything, then it has to be of maximum benefit to you as an individual. That's the hard part. If you want to help the whole community, then you have to recognize that there's one door and you got to be the one that's walking through it. So it's all about your personal comfort. And the irony is that when you prioritize your own personal comfort emotionally, that gives you the compassion to be able to deal with others the same way. And the third thing is, what's the third thing? So imposter syndrome, no real risk. Yeah. Comfort. So yeah, you got to do things that is of no real risk to you. I feel like those are the three things that I talked about. I might look back in the video, my memory is really shit. But yeah, so you've got to prioritize yourselves. You've got to prioritize your own feelings. You can't judge your own feelings. And it's a really, really difficult life to lead when literally this world is dedicated towards being the opposite of everything that I'm talking about, or at least it appears to be that way. It's all go, go, go. What are you contributing to society? But as a TI, the only way you can contribute to, targeted individuals as a whole is you got to think to yourself, okay, there's one door, I got to walk through it. And I got to make sure that whatever it is that I do, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking out on behalf of targeted individuals or, I have to make sure it's of no real risk to me and that I can benefit from it. And you have to convince yourself, you have to be who you want to be rather than being who you feel like you should be. And all of these things that I'm talking about are really, really hard. It's hard to do. It's a daily struggle. It's a daily effort. But I feel like if TIs are going to do that, they have to do those things. And those things are not practical. Those things are all psychological. It's all emotional stuff. But you would be amazed at how much psychology can affect the rest of your life. People focus on the material first, focus on action, focus on go, 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 go. Next thing you know, they've hit a brick wall and they're having to question everything that they've done so far. When you focus on yourself internally, it takes longer for you to get to specific places that other people could get to years before you, but you stay where you're at and you steadily ascend rather than rushing ahead when you prioritize your own feelings first. And you'd be amazed at how much it enables you to get through the pain or get through the agony of what you have to go through day to day when you prioritize your emotional health and you prioritize your own needs, even above other TIs. I'm sorry, if you're a TI, you've got to prioritize your own needs even above other TIs. Otherwise, you're not going to help us. You're not going to help us. If you can't help yourself and you can't do for you and you can't help yourself out, you can't help the rest of us. You can't do that. You can't push yourself into doing shit that is, on your most line of resistance. You're already being tortured. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You're already being subject to, this fucking electronic weaponry bullshit and this neighborhood bullshit, being surrounded by criminals and crackheads day in, day out. You're already going through that. You can't put yourself into a situation where you're forced to go to your most line of resistance all the time. You can't do it. The more you put yourself first is the more you end up doing for your community. The more you prioritize your own emotional health and how you function, the more you prioritize that, is the better that you do for the rest of us. And again, I know how that sounds. I know it sounds really selfish. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, I can't abandon the TI community. You're not abandoning us by focusing on yourself. You're not doing that. You're just making sure that you have, you're making sure that your own cup is filled before you have to fulfill the obligations that society is putting on you. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And that's what you should be doing. That's what we all should be doing, But again, at the same time, I can say that we should all be doing this. But again, you have to come to that conclusion on your own, and you can't allow yourself to be bullied or talked down to by anybody, not even me. So you can take my advice or not take it. But the main thing is, it is about your comfort. You are being tortured here. And this world is expecting you to give more when so much has already been taken from you. You've got to prioritize your own health and your own well-being. You've got to. So there's nothing else for it. There are lawsuits that are happening. There are things that are in place. There's activism that's in place. Like there are a lot of great organizations out there for targeted individuals. If you want to get involved, you can. There's lots of research you can do, if you really want this to stop. But unfortunately, it does come back to self, because the more comfortable you become as an individual and the more you focus on your own needs, the more able you are to work as a team and to actually do something for the community. And it's not, again, everything that I'm saying, it's not fucking easy. It's not easy. And again, I don't like the fact that, one person's line of least resistance, they're going to treat it as everybody else's line of least resistance. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like when you guys are talked down to. I don't like it. It's not right. Anyway, I gotta go. I don't know if I made much sense in this video. I probably didn't, but yeah, I gotta get on with my daily readings now. I've got some cleaning to do as well. I've got lots of stuff to be doing. So, so listen, I love you guys so much. Please take care of yourselves. I love you so much. I honestly mean that from the bottom of my spirit. I love you guys. Bye-bye.